Captain's Log. Stardate 2016. Position orbiting Planet 1. I'm going in search of intelligent life. Where am I? Who's in charge here?
Oh, hello.
That'll be us.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you, sir. My name's Matt. This is Michelle. You're on
Michelle.
planet
Nice to
Earth.
meet you.
Humanoids.
Humanoids.
That's us.
You are live on BBC One, and we would like to say welcome to the One Show, George Tae-hee.
George, as you can see, you're surrounded by Trekkies here.
I noticed these people are of my generation. These
Yes.
are the youngsters.
The
Even bald
youngsters.
ones. They're younger than us because
Well, you know what?
they're the next generation.
Everyone's so pleased to see you. And what's lovely about you, you really embrace the role that made you famous, don't you?
I'm very proud
I
of my
can tell.
association with Starfleet and all my colleagues there.
And George, when you are comparing Trekkies, or Trekkers, as
Yes.
you like to call them, with Star Wars fans, how would you say that they compare?
Well, they are different. They share the same kind of energy and passion and love. Star Wars fans are fantasists. They love fantasy because Star Wars is fantastical. Star Trek is science fiction. They are the people that are science-oriented, mathematics-oriented, intelligent, discerning, and inquisitive.
Let's
Curious.
just double check, yeah? Are we happy with that?
Yeah?
Look at that.
You like it?
My mother-in-law will be delighted that you just said that. She's a big fan.
She's very excited.
Oh, she is.
Good, good. You married well.
Oh, my mother-in-law. Well, yes, that's true.
You married your mother-in-law.
No, I didn't.
No.
It's all getting too complicated. What were you saying about science?
Now,
Go
we
on.
want to see the love you guys have for Star Trek at home. We've got some fans out there as well. So make sure you get your outfits on, your memorabilia out, get your Falcon salute at the ready, and send us a photo. We want to show some of them later
It's going to be interesting. First, now here is Dr. Saleo with some serious words of warning if you are struggling sleeping at night.
The NHS says 1 in 3 of us struggle with the crippling effects of insomnia. For many, sleeping pills seem to offer a solution, but they can pose serious health risks.
Among the strongest sleeping pills that can be prescribed are these, a range of highly addictive sedatives known as Z-drugs.
They're prescription-only drugs with serious possible side effects. A GP will only prescribe them in exceptional circumstances, at the lowest dose and for no more than a few weeks.
Yet we've discovered that Z-drugs are being sold online illegally and in massive quantities that could put lives at risk.
David Greenwood from Bolton knows only too well the impact Z-drugs can have. His wife Sue took her own life after years battling depression, a depression David believes was made worse by her addiction to a Z-drug.
Her depression was fuelled by not sleeping, and also fuelled by taking lots of these tablets, which were having a major effect on her. They would spike her mood and then they would drop her mood, so almost an effect of being bipolar.
Sue didn't die from an overdose, but she had become addicted to the pills. Pills she was ordering herself in vast quantities. David only discovered her online account after her death.
I looked at that and I thought, she's bought 250 tablets, but actually there's 250 sleeves of 10.
So that's 2,500 tablets
Yeah.
in one go.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Over 5 years, Sue had bought 8,000 tablets from the one site.
And how many do you think she's taken?
There were 600 left.
Only 600 left.
Only 600. Yeah.
The dangers of self-medicating are a real concern to experts like consultant toxicologist Dr. David Wood. His research found more than 3 dozen websites selling the Z drug Sue was using. Only one insisted on a doctor's prescription, despite potential side effects such as depression, mood swings and paranoia.
For me personally, it's concerning that a member of the public can buy very large quantities of a drug associated with dependency without medical supervision. People may take them and inadvertently overdose because they don't know the dose they should be using.
Most of the websites were based abroad.
But there are online dealers selling Z drugs right here, illegally in the UK.
We recorded a call to one illegal online supplier to see exactly what's on offer.
You can have as many as you want. If you're going to have them all the time, the best one's to buy hundreds for 80 quid.
He doesn't care how many we buy or how large a dose we take. And this is what he had to say about doubling the normal dose.
If you need stronger, yeah, it's up to you.
As a doctor, I'm shocked by his comments, and I'm not alone.
I'm appalled at that. Not only could you buy as many as you wanted, but he doesn't care what he's selling, he's not bothered. It really is unbelievable.
Danny Lee Frost is head of operations for the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. It's his job to shut down online Z drug dealers operating in the UK and seize their illegal stocks. We played Danny the call with our dealer to see what he thought.
This represents the sharp end of what we're trying to stop. We'll be looking to shut him down and prevent these products from reaching the public.
Sue's husband David has nothing but contempt for those illegally trading in Z drugs.
Those people who have sold tablets purely for profit without any thought or consideration for the effects it would have on that person's life or their families. Gosh.
Well, we are now joined by Linda Scammell from the medicines regulator, the MHRA. So, Linda, as far as that case is concerned, that man on the phone, what will be happening with him as a seller now as an investigation?
Yeah, we've opened an investigation that's ongoing, but this is a clear demonstration of a dangerous activity that's going on online.
Mm-hmm. And just how many illegal sites do you have to contend with?
The internet's a big place. So it's not possible to give you an exact number, but as an indication, the demand is out there. People are doing this. We have stopped £13 million worth of fake and unlicensed medicine coming into the UK, and we've closed down so far this year more than 5,000 sites illegally trading in medicine.
It's something you're constantly monitoring then, I'm guessing.
It is. It's a constant and growing battle.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the safe way to buy medicine online? I mean, obviously, you need a prescription to start with.
Yes, you do.
What's the process?
Yeah. Nowadays, since June last year, we have a logo system which is displayed on websites of legally trading pharmacies and other supermarket retailers, for example. So they apply, they get a logo from us, it goes on the website, and so as a consumer you can check. You can also hold the mouse over the logo and connect with a list of legal online suppliers. So that at least gives you some assurance that where you're buying from is a legitimate source.
Why do you think people are buying from these sites, Linda?
There's all kinds of reasons. You may have a personal health problem you don't want to discuss with your doctor, or you might just want a quick fix solution to a particular problem that you have at the time. The real issue is that you don't know what you're buying, you don't know what effect it will have on your health, long term or short term. They could contain dangerous ingredients. So it's best to either buy from a place with a logo or to be extremely careful what you're buying and where from.
And I guess the cost of it as well is an obstacle for you.
Yes, I mean, it's not possible to monitor the internet entirely, but there's lots of things we can do. You know, we're monitoring prescription medicines that are being sold online, and with the help of the internet service providing industry themselves and credit card facilitators, because if you can't get money in, you won't be doing business for very long, it's possible to tackle those websites in a number of ways.
I mean, we've obviously seen evidence of how these sellers are taking people's vulnerability for granted here and making a lot of money out of it. But would it help if it made the act of buying it illegal as well as selling it?
It's clearly illegal for the people selling it. You cannot offer medicines that are prescription over the internet without a prescription in return or the involvement of a medical supervision in some way. So we have to be monitoring what is going on the internet, and certainly it is possible to go and take sites down if there is evidence that the law is being broken, and we do that constantly.
Linda, thanks so much. It's really important to raise more awareness around this, isn't it? And if anyone is affected by the issues in the film, then make sure you please do seek help, speak to your GP, as Linda said, for details of organisations which offer advice and support. You can go online to bbc.co.uk/actionline. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Now, very shortly, we're going to be talking about the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. And whilst Mr. Sulu and the crew of the Enterprise may have an unrivalled view of the cosmos, here on planet Earth, well, it's much more challenging, Michelle.
It really is, isn't it, Matt? I mean, Marty's been to try and capture a yearly phenomena. Take a look at this.
Shooting stars are an elusive natural wonder. But throughout the world, light pollution in our towns and cities is making sightings of meteors ever more difficult. Here at the Kielder Observatory in Northumberland, I'm hoping to capture an image of not just one meteor, but a whole range of them on one photograph as the Perseid meteor shower passes across the skies of Great Britain. As the Earth orbits the Sun, we journey through fields of debris left behind by passing comets. Particles from this debris collide with the Earth's atmosphere, producing bright sparks across the sky. We've enlisted the expertise of photographer Tom Heaton. Tom has a reputation for creating remarkable photographs of the evening sky. So Tom, how are you going to take pictures of meteors?
I plan on popping my camera on a tripod, and I'm using a wide-angle lens which gives me a good wide field of view, and point the camera at the constellation of Perseus and keep it running all night. Each picture is going to be approximately 15 seconds long, which is known as a long exposure. You need a great amount of time to suck in all available light.
As dark clouds begin to gather in the sky above us, Tom makes the final adjustments to his cameras. Gary Files is the lead astronomer at Kielder Observatory.
We're in an international dark sky park, which is the third largest expanse of protected dark skies in the world.
So what are we actually going to see tonight then?
If we catch it lucky, we may see some real Earth-grazing meteors which can burn really brilliant hues of blue and green.
The minerals in the Perseid meteors and the gases in the upper atmosphere can give out a whole range of different colours when they get really hot. Now, whilst we can't actually reproduce the conditions right up there, we can get an idea of the range of different colours we're likely and hoping to see. The Perseids are most likely to burn blue and green. As darkness falls, the weather remains challenging as we wait to see what the night sky has in store. With our time-lapse camera rolling, we're able to catch our first glimpse of a Perseid meteor, a bright green streak across the sky. This colour is created when magnesium reacts with the Earth's atmosphere as the meteor burns up. There's no doubt that these areas of protected dark skies are a brilliant place for meteor spotting, as long as it's not cloudy. The next morning, I join Tom in his studio to see what he's managed to capture.
It wasn't the best night for the meteor shower. To capture meteors, you need good, clear skies. But there were gaps.
Oh, look at that.
We've got the smallest of gaps in the clouds, yet we still managed to capture a bright, vibrant meteor. Now here is a slightly better example.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome. Although the Northumbrian weather prevented Tom from creating the composite image we were after, photographers around the UK had their cameras trained on the Perseids. Here's a sighting on Anglesey in Wales, and an appearance at Hound Tor in Dartmoor. One of the most spectacular photographs was caught on a clear evening on the Norfolk Broads, also one of the darkest parts of the UK. This composite image is a beautiful reminder of what can be revealed when we protect our dark skies.
mesmerising, those pictures.
They are fascinating.
Beautiful.
And I soared through all that.
You did?
That maneuvering between those meteors that kept coming right at us.
Wow.
It begs belief, it really
Of
does.
course.
And
You're
if
the
you're
helmsman.
interested, if you're interested out there, the next time you can see beautiful what they call Orionids. That's what they're called. They're called Orionids, and you can see them on the 21st of October. Look at that. We don't know when they'll be visible from LA, but that's when you can see them here in the UK. But there we are.
Amazing to see. Now, interestingly, George, talking about pretty cool things, you've had an asteroid named after you. You've actually got space on your side, literally, haven't you?
I'm a heavenly body.
You are. You are.
Yes, I was so flattered. The International Astronomical Society called and said they want to name an asteroid after me.
I mean, how cool is that?
Came out of nowhere, just like an asteroid.
And apparently you're somewhere between Mars and Jupiter. If anybody said
That's correct.
Exactly where you are. But listen, you're here to talk about the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
We are celebrating.
And I mean, it is an extraordinary thing because it's almost as if it's never been off our screens, George.
Yeah.
But you were there right at the very beginning,
The
50
original.
years ago. So
September 8th, 1966. And we just passed September 8th, 2016. 50 years. It's been an amazing trek.
And what do you remember about that first connection? Maybe a phone call, or when did
Oh,
it
you
start
mean
to come into your
before?
life?
Well, that was 51 years ago, and back in 1965, when I got that phone call to meet a man named Gene Roddenberry, whom I didn't know from Adam.
Right.
Usually, when you're being interviewed for a pilot film, they have a battalion of executives, advertising people, studio executives, etc. But Gene's interview was very unique. It was just him behind a desk. And then he came out from behind that desk, sat, ushered me to a corner where there were couches, and we sat like this and chatted. And he asked me about current events, the latest headlines. Then we talked about books we'd read, movies that we love. And I thought, he's not going to cast me. We're just chit-chatting.
How did he describe the show to you at that point?
Well, I had to lead him into that. I said, tell me about the show.
Tell me about the show.
And tell me about the role. And he said, this story is going to be out in the galaxies. It'll take place primarily on this massive starship with over 1,000 crew members. This starship is a metaphor for Starship Earth. And the strength of that starship was in the diversity of this planet, this starship, all coming together. People from different countries, different races, different history, different religions, coming together and working in concert, confident of our problem-solving capabilities, innovative, inventive, and entrepreneurial. Hence the name Enterprise for our ship,
And
boldly going.
Your character, you know, Mr. Sulu, he was a fairly buttoned-up character, wasn't he? But in your favourite episode, Naked Time, that all changes, doesn't it?
He was buttoned up, but he was #1 out of Starfleet Academy.
Let's
he
take
was
a look at the
crack
clip.
professional.
Actually, he's pretty unbuttoned in this clip.
Stand. No father. No escape for you. You either leave this war bloodied or with my blood on your swords.
Great audience.
I think you look fantastic there. You're very well oiled. You know, you do
No,
it
no,
very
no.
well.
Very well.
That was
Just
not
very
oil.
well.
It was all me.
Was it? Oh, whoa. What a man.
I was preparing for that scene, and I was huffing and puffing, you know,
You
behind
took
a
it
flag.
seriously, you didn't
That
you?
was my sweat. All me.
Oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my.
Right, this leads us very nicely
It
into the
does.
next
Go
bit,
on.
actually, Matt. Now, as any Trekkie will know, you've developed a bit of a catchphrase over the years, haven't you, George? Let's hear it for everybody.
Oh, my.
There we go. Everybody loves that. And as we know, you've got a different oh my, depending on what you react to.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. So let's rattle through these ideas and see what your reaction is. Sulu being made Captain Sulu.
Oh, my.
William Shatner cutting one of your scenes.
Oh, my.
Being asked to feature in the next Star Trek movie.
Oh, my!
Do you know, it's all come clear why that initial meeting was just a conversation, because your voice is so engaging. Just sitting here listening to you talking. It's mesmerising, it really is. And Star Trek 50th anniversary, the Blu-ray box set, all the original stuff of all the original cast, all together in one package, is out now.
Now, George,
50 years worth of Star Trek.
There we go.
All of the original episodes from our generation, and then all of the original cast movies with something special, new mini posters that go with each one of the 6 movies.
There is a lot to go through there.
Plus something that's never been done before, the animated series made into Blu-ray DVDs. Plus, wait, there's more.
You sound like one of them adverts now, George. Go on.
Well, I'm a television actor.
There you go.
The commercial break is an instinctive thing. Yeah. We have a 2-hour documentary. Wait, there's more. 20 hours worth of all these wonderful things about Star Trek. So, yes, this is the way to celebrate
there is
the
so
50th
much
anniversary.
I'm sure there's a lot more, but do you know what? We're a live show here, George.
We're running out of time, man. We're running out of time.
They're the ones that made it possible, the 50 years.
But, George, we know you're well-travelled on Planet UK. You know, you like to get around. You've visited a number of times since 1960. One question, have you been to Hull?
I've been near it, but no.
If you consider it, there's a lot to like. Here we go.
Well, I was a bit surprised. I think a lot of people were. You know, they were competing with Chester. I came from Chester, the different cities. People say culture, all, and all.
John Prescott was the MP for Hull East for 40 years, and I'm musician Stan Cullimore. I spent 12 years in the city, forming the Housemartins while I was here.
What are we trying to achieve today, John?
We're going to show how Hull, a forgotten city, became the city of culture. It's identified in the media with great tragedy, like fishing, right? Yeah. So to that extent, it's shaped the character of the people. It is like a big village in an agrarian sea. It's a city under transformation, but in a way, the culture has been influenced by the atmosphere of which it's developed.
For me, I arrived at its darkest moment. So all I've seen is these places go from being derelict to being really cool spaces.
Now we're beginning to see a city becoming more confident, and that's what influences culture.
Why is the ye old White Hart important?
Bit of important history in our country. The king came here, the Civil War, he wanted the arms, we'd got them locked away in the church, and he said, "You're going to give them." They said, "No, we're not."
A whole bloke would stand here and say, "Hey, there's someone at the door." Who is it? It's the king. Tell him to get lost.
So Hull became the start of one of the greatest democratic changes in this country, when you limited the power of the king.
Hull's fishing industry may be gone, but the city has never lost its appetite for its signature dish.
You know, when they talk about culture, the culture in Hull is fish and chips and rugby. That's what it's really about.
I know you say that, but to me, Hull, the reason I came to Hull was for poetry. You know, it was because Philip Larkin was here.
Philip Larkin is widely considered to be Britain's greatest post-war poet. He wrote the majority of his poetry whilst also working as the chief librarian at Hull University.
Here we are in the actual office of Philip Larkin. What happened when you met him?
I saw him walking down the steps just down there. Those big dark glasses. Mr. Larkin, do you do seminars on your poetry? He went and walked off. So I never spoke to the man.
When I was in the band, we're in the Housemartins, we used to make cassettes, which we would sell to people to try and earn money. And he bought a cassette off me. The weird thing is, poetry was what sort of attracted me to Hull. And when I was here, I was lucky enough that music became my life. So, thank you, Hull. Up here was that shop, Everything But the Girl.
I always used to see the title on the shop.
I know, it's a great title. Well, there was a band when I was at university. A boy and a girl started a band called Everything But the Girl. And they went to Hull University, they nicked the title from there, and they had a huge hit called Missing. And so they're kind of worldwide, they're known worldwide.
And no trip to Hull would be complete without visiting its most iconic music venue.
If Hull has a set of cultural crown jewels, the new Adelphi Club is one of the most shiny, gorgeous, glittery things at the very top. For the House Minds, this is where it all happened. We played our first gigs here and we signed our record contract on this very stage. Every band you can think of, like Oasis, Pulp, Supergrass, the House Martins, all the bands have played on this tiny stage.
My son had a band called Von Traps. There's a poster for him outside as I walked in.
When we walked through,
and they used to play in the garage in my house. And I used to say, can't we put some soundproofing up?
Do you want to see the most important part of the Adelphi Club? If you follow me, I will show you the toilets.
Yeah.
Everyone who plays here, all the famous bands, they come and have a photograph taken here. We've had Mumford & Sons, we've had Jarvis Cocker from Pulp, we've had Franz Ferdinand, but you are the first famous politician to have a picture taken in the toilets.
Blimey,
Right,
another step forward.
So we say cheese. Hang on, all right. Cheese. Have you had a lovely day?
I've had a fantastic day.
I've had a great time. It's been brilliant. Would you say that you're excited about
I
the
am,
whole
yeah.
2017
Not
thing?
only excited, proud.
Many, many happy memories of
Looks
Hull.
like they're having a lovely time there, doesn't
Oh,
it?
I know.
Are you from Hull?
Half of my family is.
Oh, you are a Hullian.
There we are. So I know those parts very well indeed. But George, I mean, we haven't got a huge amount of time to talk here, but you have had the most fascinating life. And at 5 years old, you ended up in an intern camp in America. Now, what do you remember of this time?
Well, it was a very dark chapter of American history. We're Americans. My mother was born in Sacramento, California. My father was a San Franciscan. They met and married in Los Angeles. My siblings and I were born there. And yet, after Pearl Harbor, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, the nation was swept up in war hysteria and racism. We happened to look like the people that bombed Pearl Harbor. And we were looked at with suspicion and fear and outright hatred. And the President of the United States ordered all Japanese Americans on the West Coast, approximately 120,000 of us, to be rounded up with no charges, no trial, no due process, to be imprisoned in 10 barbed wire prison camps in the most hellish places in the country. I remember that morning. I was 5 years old. My parents got me up very early in the morning, together with my brother, a year younger, and my baby sister, not a year old, dressed us hurriedly. And my brother and I were told to wait in the living room. We were gazing out the front window, and we saw two soldiers with bayonets on their rifle, marching up the driveway, stomped up the porch, and with their fists banged on the door. It was a terrifying sound. My father came out, and he opened the door, and literally at gunpoint, our family was ordered out of our house. My father gave my brother and me little packages to carry. We went out on the driveway, and we waited for our mother to come out. When she came out, she had the baby in one arm, a huge duffel bag in the other, and tears were cascading down her cheeks.
Gosh.
It was a terrifying morning that I can never forget. We were taken from our home to the swamps of Arkansas, 2/3 of the way across the country. I remember the barbed wire fence that confined us, tall sentry towers with machine guns pointed at us. When I made the night runs from our barrack to the latrine, searchlights followed us. For my parents, it was an invasive, degrading, humiliating light. But for 5-year-old me, I thought it was kind of nice that they lit the way for me to pee.
Honestly,
Well,
George,
George.
you paint such a vivid picture of it. It's amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. Remember, the box set, 50th anniversary Star Trek box set is out now.
And a big thank you to you, Michelle, for stepping
you,
in tonight.
Matt. Lovely
Alex
to be here.
will be back tomorrow when we're going to be joined by Rick Stein, Mel C and Anne Robinson, and we're going to put 3 of you to the test to see if you can land a 747. George Takei, everybody. Thank you so much.
Pam is taking